Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. Oh my lord, we are pumping out these videos like they are it's amazing. For once, we're on track and everything. So I've been wearing the same thing as a couple other videos because today was like my day to work. So I figured I'd get all my videos done in one day, and if you can hear my fan, I'm sorry, but this room does not have air conditioning in it, so it's a little bit muggy, so the fan is necessary. So I talked about in one of our vlogs that I did like a little update on what has been going on, and I had said that Quenton had had a hospital stay. So basically I'm just going to touch on that and what happened, if anybody else is going through this with a kid. And it really sucks, to say like the least. Like, it really does suck. I was always in the opposite position when I was a kid and when like I would get sick, but it really sucks as a parent to see your kid go through it and not be able to do anything about it. So a little bit of a different perspective, but still same thing. So if I'm looking down, it's because I basically have like all the notes of like what happened, because even though I was there, it was kind of like labor. Like, I wasn't really there afterwards. So on May 29th at, I want to say around 5:30, 6 o'clock maybe, I don't remember the times exactly in this whole event, like exact times, but there were roundabout times. Quenton did this weird action. He had done it once before, probably a month prior to it, and we didn't really think anything of it because he didn't do it afterwards, so it was fine. Nothing like too weird to where we were concerned about it. Basically what he did was he tightened his whole body, tucked his arms in, shut his eyes like really, really tight, and would just bicycle his legs back and forth. And that was really weird to us. It's really scary because after he comes out of whatever he is in, he doesn't know what's going on, and for a baby that's really hard to kind of say unless you have a baby and you understand that babies at his age should be alert. They can track, they know like what's going on. They obviously can't communicate correctly, but they know what's going on, and you know how your own child acts. So when he comes out of it, he's very just not himself. He's not there. It's like he's there but not present whatsoever at all. So that is what the episode is, what we shall call it. So I ended up calling his doctor's office. Luckily they had late hours this day. We called and I got transferred to the nurse right away, and she asked what was going on. I explained it to her, and she told us to go directly to the ER. They work with different hospitals, and a lot of hospitals around us actually have children's ERs, which is pediatric ER, and we had to go to a hospital that was probably it was like 45 minutes away. It was the hospital that I was supposed to deliver Quenton at, but I didn't end up delivering him at that hospital. If you want to know that whole story, you can head on over to my labor and delivery story. At this point, I wasn't thinking seizure. I was thinking I have no idea what's going on. Just I wanted to figure it out. I wanted to make sure he was okay. The first time we heard the word seizure was when they took us back to really like see what was going on. She said like a seizure, and I was like, I've never seen someone have a seizure. I couldn't tell you. So then they admitted us into the pediatric ER. While we were waiting for the pediatric ER doctor, because she was with another patient at the time, he ended up doing it 2 more times. We went to get someone that was outside of our room, and the man, I don't know what he was. I don't know if he was a technician, if he was an RN, if he was an LPN, like I don't know what he was, We told him what was going on, what they were looking for, why they were so concerned, and that he was doing it again, and he said, "I'll go get the doctor." So we walked back towards our room, and my parents were with us because we were at their house at the time, so they came with us to see if we would need them to bring our car to the hospital, just basically there for like support for the both of us. Well, my dad had turned around. The man had went back onto the computer and proceeded to what he was doing. So that really aggravated me as a parent, because you don't know what's going on with your child, and now this person is not taking you seriously whatsoever at all and going back on the computer when something could be severely wrong with my child. And I don't think any parent should ever have to feel that way when they go to the ER. So he ended up doing it again, obviously, and we got our RN that she came in. We told her what was going on, and she rushed, got the ER doctor, and brought her in right away, which should have happened the first time, but it didn't. By the time she had done that, he was done having an episode, so they didn't catch it, they didn't get to see it. By this time, Quenton was really tired and just run down from all these episodes, so he was eating, and it was getting closer to his bedtime, so he was just really getting really tired. He basically was out of his element and didn't really like it very much. They kind of talked to us, they told us what they were going to do. They needed to get his blood work to see if anything was wrong, and every time that they have to get blood on Quenton, he is never, like, his body is just never good about it. When they had to test his bilirubin when he was a couple days old, the lady sat there and poked his foot probably like 6 times with that little like pricker thing to try to get like enough blood, and he just, like, his foot would not bleed. Like, she turned his foot purple because she was squeezing it so hard. Like, just not a good scenario whatsoever with him trying to get pricked for blood or anything. So they actually had to put an IV in, because if it was seizures, then they were going to try to stop it the next time that it would happen, so they needed an IV in. So the first team came in, tried to get the IV. Quenton obviously didn't like it. 4-month-old baby, he doesn't really appreciate any of that. They tried, didn't work. A total of 4 or 5 teams came in, and luckily the last team that came in got it, which was our transport team. But before I get to that, he went into a CT scan. Damian had to stay in there with him because obviously, like, I'm breastfeeding, so I don't get, this is TMI, but I don't get my period because I'm breastfeeding, so there would be no way that I would know if I was pregnant unless I took a pregnancy test. So I could not be in the room when he got his CT done. So Damian had to stay in there with him. I'm just glad they let him at least go in with him, because it's really scary even for an adult to kind of do. Fast forward after that, they got the CT scans back and it was perfectly fine. Tried poking him for his IV a couple more times. They ended up poking him 4 times and only got access once. So he had bruises pretty much everywhere because they kept poking him and they had no idea what they were doing, and it really sucked because I had to hold him down every single time, and a lot of kids take binkies. He does not, so he doesn't suck on anything. Like, I would literally have to put my boob in his mouth, like hover over him for him to calm down, but you can't really do that when they're trying to hold your kid down. So me as a parent was getting really frustrated because they didn't just call up to the pediatric floor at that hospital and get a regular person that does these IVs all the time. Instead, they just kept poking my child over and over again and didn't know what they were doing, which is frustrating. So they told us basically when we got there, we were getting transferred and we weren't going home. So we knew within like 5 minutes of being there that we were going to a different hospital and we weren't going home, which sucked because we didn't have anything with us. We just had his diaper bag, which had a couple diapers in it, his toys, stuff like that. Fast forward like a while, Quenton had went to sleep because he was so tired, and he was gonna get ready to wake up to eat, and of course the transport team got there as soon as he woke up to eat. Quenton does not do good in car rides whatsoever at all, and he was super hungry. So we had a probably 40-minute drive to the children's hospital that we were going to, and I asked the transport staff if I could feed him before we went, and she said, no, that's not happening, we need to leave. So basically everybody is just getting on my nerves at this point, and Damian's kind of seeing that, and I'm just getting really frustrated with everybody trying to either tell me what to do with my child or not allowing me to do what I need to do as a parent. So they ended up strapping him into stretcher with like their little like belts and whatever. They put a warm blanket on him so he would go to sleep for the ride. So they forced him to go back to sleep for the ride there so he wouldn't scream and cry because he was hungry. I got to ride in the transport with them, but I didn't get to ride in the back with him. I got to ride in the front. Damian had to drive our car down there. So we got down to the children's hospital at probably 2 a.m. We got checked in, everything. They brought us to a room. They did all his measurements, everything that they needed to do, and that was that. They let us kind of be for the night. The next morning, our neurologist came in and he said, we're going to do an EEG, which is basically they put all these little things on your head with like this like glue stuff, and it follows your brain, and you have to wear it for how many ever days they say. He ended up having to wear it from May 30th to June 1st, so those couple of days. So he had to wear it for those couple of days. They didn't find anything while we were there. He was under 24-hour surveillance, so there was a camera in our room. He didn't get to go out of the room for any of those days. He had to stay within this little room. He was still like a really happy baby. Like, I'll probably put in some pictures. He was trying to pull the lines off that they had on him, but besides that, he was really happy. He loved all the nurses, loved the doctors. We still, to this day, don't know what it was or what's really going on. He has had follow-ups with cardio for his heart to make sure his heart is fine, which it is, and he's also had a follow-up with neurology, and he has one more follow-up with the cardiologist in like a month, and then he'll have follow-ups with the neurologist for the rest of his life, basically, or until he gets older, because I have migraines and so does my mom, so they're hereditary, and migraines lead to seizures most times, so they have to basically keep an eye on him for a really long time to make sure none of that happens. Besides that, it's basically what happened. If you have any like other questions, just feel free to like leave them down below, or like go over to our Instagram and chat with us there. Feel free to really ask anything, because if you're a parent going through something even remotely like this, it's scary. You don't know what to do. You don't know what to expect. So just ask questions. We're here. And that's really what our channel is for, to kind of make it so it's not always peaches and cream all the time. Parenting isn't peaches and cream. You see a lot of celebrity families and their life is so amazing and nothing's ever wrong, but you're not seeing the real side of it. So this was kind of like a little glimpse into that. It's not always great. Being a teen parent is scary. You have to deal with these things, so remember that. Just know that he's doing well right now. There's really nothing we can do, so we're just kind of, it's a waiting game, which sucks, but that's what happens basically. So it's been almost a month and a half since that happened. So he's doing good. This wasn't a recent thing that happened, really. That's kind of why we took a break from YouTube for a little while, and why we've just taken a break from social media to begin with, because life just took a turn and we needed to deal with our family first and not everything outside of it. So I hope you guys don't blame us for that. We are back. We are posting videos on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and sometimes Sundays, so just look out for that. My website, there's a new blog post every Monday, so go check out that. Everything is linked down in the description box. Our Instagram, our website, everything. So just go check those out, and we'll see you guys in our next video.